Episode 312, The Second Stage. Lord Tate's declaration silenced the meeting hall. Elder Josephine and the others were surprised at the Deputy Patriarch's decision. Typically, such a decision would be discussed with the upper echelon of the clan, but they respected his wisdom. The elders and protectors had learned not to question his decision when it came to judging character. Anytime he had made a decision that they would have questioned, his choice always proved to be the correct one, especially if it regarded people. However, deciding to appoint a child was beyond the pale. Their faith in him could only go so far.
There has never been before such a young chapter leader in the Iron Blood clan,
the Protector argued.
He's just a teenager. Many wouldn't even consider him as an adult.
He had been the one to give Bobby the warning before the capital, so he had witnessed his reckless nature. He had never been questioned before a decision made by the Deputy Patriarch. The rest of the elders looked hesitant but wouldn't speak out against it. That was how Bobby became the youngest chapter leader in the history of the Iron Blood clan. The elders sighed and rubbed their temples but accepted him nonetheless.
Which chapter are you arranging for Bobby to lead?
Elder Josephine asked, realizing how futile arguing would be. Which chapters are in need of a leader? Lord Tate asked casually. Elder Josephine answered,
Neither the Blue Water chapter nor the Everlasting Sky chapter has leaders. Between the two, the Blue Water chapter is closer, and the two lieutenants are very powerful. The Everlasting Sky chapter is further away, and the previous chapter leader just retired.
Arrange him to lead for the Blue Water chapter then, Lord Tate said without hesitation. That wasn't at all what the elders had expected. Obviously, the Everlasting Sky chapter would be easier to lead. The Blue Water chapter was closer to the main headquarters of the Iron Blood clan and already had an internal power struggle. He was throwing Bobby to the wolves.
The two lieutenants of the Blue Water chapter, Niall Carr and Lena Benson, aren't the type to fall in line,
Elder Josephine warned.
They're very strong-willed and have been eyeing the chapter's leader's position. Niall especially won't be eager to stand aside for someone so young and inexperienced.
The Blue Water chapter was also primarily a defense base. It had a larger population than most regions, and those that lived there were the clan's best fighters. There was plenty of internal tension, and the chapter had complex dynamics, but Lord Tate didn't seem to think it would be a problem for the new chapter leader. You'll stay at headquarters for 2 weeks before you head out. I'll personally be sending you an assistant when you go, Lord Tate told Bobby, handing him a token that proved his rank as a chapter leader. As soon as Bobby left the meeting hall, the room broke out in whispers. They wouldn't say anything to Bobby's face or in front of the Deputy Patriarch, but none of them had faith that the boy could control the Blue Water chapter with his current cultivation and level of experience. Niall and Lena would be his biggest issue. The elders knew the two of them would never obey such a young and weak chapter leader. In fact, many of the upper echelons placed bets on how long Bobby would last as a chapter leader, and none of the bets were longer than a few weeks. Lord Tate called the meeting back to order and moved on to the next topic. Next, we'll discuss the preparations for the True Dragon Gathering. Bobby settled into his quarters quickly. It was a peaceful hall in the center of the Iron Blood clan with pearls decorating the ceiling and walls. As a chapter leader, he was technically in the upper echelon of the clan, so he was given quarters far nicer than he would have otherwise been assigned. Bobby sat cross-legged on the hovering flying iris shield and practiced merging his consciousness with the second stage of his lightning inheritance. He had first attempted it back when he had been in the flooded Lake City. Usually, entering the second stage of an inheritance required the cultivation of true human rank. Bobby hoped it achieved it sooner with his high level of mental energy and quick learning. He was closer than ever since his cultivation had reached the half-step true spirit realm. With meditation, the lightning inheritance could be visualized with more precision and at a greater scale. Within the dimension of his left eye, flowers of lightning bloomed and disappeared. While trying to process it all, Bobby encountered some new curiosities, such as the connection between his power and the weather. He had discovered that his lightning was actually stronger when it was stormy. Some attacks from the True Spirit realm became stronger after being released and merging with the Earth's vital essence. Typically, only those at the True Lord ring could do this. Those at the True Human ring could absorb some power, but it wasn't enough to truly utilize the Earth's essence. He understood what the issue was. Because of his cultivation level, the energy was stuck in a bottleneck. Only when he broke through to the True Spirit realm would the lightning element within his body properly interact with the innate essence outside. Then, he would have full access to the insights of the second stage of his inheritance. To maximize his cultivation, Bobby utilized the items he had gotten from the Great Moon Treasury and the Rising Dragon auction and focused solely on cultivation. His half-step True Spirit energy started to circulate, and crackles of lightning surrounded his body. Anyone that came close would risk being struck by lightning. Bobby's eyebrows furrowed in concentration. As he got closer to the True Spirit realm, his half-step True Spirit energy was converting at an even slower rate. Of course, under normal situations, those that have been converted more than half of the half-step True Spirit energy could try to break through to the True Spirit realm, but their chances of success wasn't high. Bobby released his half-step True Spirit energy into the atmosphere to sense the boundless vital essence in the air. He could feel the sizzle of lightning vital essence. Vital essence included every element: lightning, wind, fire. They were building blocks of the universe. If someone absorbed a high enough vital essence, they could handle more power and cultivate even higher, eventually becoming a sovereign of the Origin Corn realm. His true force was cleansed when his half-step True Spirit energy interacted with the lightning aspect of the vital essence. Next, he utilized his mental energy to invoke an affinity with the vital essence and the power of lightning, something that can only be done at those at the half-step True Spirit realm. The higher the level of the skill, the closer affinity one could reach, and the more True Spirit energy one was able to absorb. Through meditation, he understood more about the True Spirit realm, and his affinity with the lightning in the air became higher. By the third day, he had absorbed some of the lightning's vital essence from the earth into his body. His insight became deeper, and his mental energy increased. By the fifth day, thunder could be heard rumbling above Bobby's quarters. Those of higher cultivation could feel the density of the lightning's vital essence in the atmosphere. By the 10th day, Bobby could absorb the lightning energy to cleanse his true force, which had doubled. The True Spirit realm was within his grasp. All he needed was time. The last step was to consolidate the source of True Spirit within his core, and he would become an expert in the True Spirit realm. Then he would be able to effortlessly cultivate the second stage of the lightning inheritance, and his affinity with lightning energy would mean he would capture it in the air. Bobby gathered every spark of energy and lightning power, wrapping it around himself like armor. He struggled to merge his consciousness with the second stage of the lightning inheritance. He pushed until he was far enough to begin to gain insights into the offenses, defenses, and powerful secret techniques the second stage had to offer. Bobby raised his hand and with a crackle of thunder, summoned a blade of lightning. It glittered and shined, and instead of dissipating, it became stronger the longer he held it. Encouraged by his half-step True Spirit energy and interacting with the lightning energy outside. Before, Bobby had been able to make a crude blade of lightning that had been shorter and cost a lot of his true force to maintain. But this blade was devastatingly sharp. He knew it would be able to slice through high-grade mortal teal weapons and cut through the defensive energy of a normal true human rank expert's true force.